Welcome to an episode of Myofascial at Primal Fitness Systems. Recovery and restoration plays a major role in developing strength, developing athletes, developing endurance, and everyday use. Everyone should do it in the morning, in the evening, after a training session. And it's a great way to stimulate circulation, a great way to relax the muscles. And the only time myofascia should be used before workout is if there happens to be a tight area, a little nuisance of an area. Because remember, myofascia is used to calm the body and relax the muscles, relax the nervous system. And those three aspects do not work well with a warm-up because it's doing just the opposite. So remember myofascia after the workout. I'm going to show you some of the basic tools that are real easy to use. Everyone's pretty much familiar with a foam roller. There are soft foam rollers, there are firm foam rollers. You just need to find what works best for you and then progress to the most firm one. Next implement is a child soccer ball. Be sure that the ball is textured and it's not smooth, it's not glossy. If it has that smooth, shiny surface, it's going to slip out from under you. And then the third implement is a softball, and everyone's familiar with the softball. They all have their application, and each one could be used on different parts of the body for different purposes. I'm going to start out by showing some of the basic moves, starting with the front part of the shin, the tibialis muscle. It's a muscle that's often tightened just from everyday movement, walking, getting up in the morning, athletic endeavors. And at first you want to roll. You might want to just keep your toes to the ground, but as you get more accustomed to the pressure, use your body weight to roll back and forth and rotate to one side, go back to the middle, and again go to the other side. And you just keep rolling until you feel any discomfort gone. At that point you progress to the quads, above the knees, the middle part of the quads, as well as up near the hip flexors. And again, it's a very easy move, facing down. And again, start with your feet touching the ground to take some of the body weight off. But once you become accustomed to it, keep your feet off and use all your body weight. And again, you can turn from side to side, go back to the middle, turn to the other side, and you'll find certain parts of the leg are more sensitive than the others. Especially when you turn to your side and you work the IT band, which is the long, soft tissue attaching from the hip down to the knee. And this is usually the most sensitive area for most people. Again, keep your feet on the ground. Once you are accustomed to it, then you could use full body weight and just roll back and forth. And you see that I've been doing this for a number of years. I started this type of work nearly 20 years ago, so it has been around for a while. It's nothing new. And get those trouble areas. And then, of course, you turn around to the other side and do the opposite. From there, you move to your glutes. Again, keep your feet on the ground, roll back and forth. Once you become accustomed to the pressure, lift the foot up, use the body weight, get right down deep into the piriformis. The entire rotator cuff of the hip becomes really tight and really sensitive. Move to the other side and roll. And again, it doesn't make any difference how long you roll, how many repetitions. You just do it until the muscle's relaxed. After you have done that, you move to the back part of the legs with the hamstrings. You'd see that I'm keeping my feet up, so I'm using body weight. Again, you turn a little to the left, a little to the right, and as you progress, you move to the calves. Now, usually the most sensitive areas of most muscles are the origin of the muscle and the insertion. And if you could loosen up those two areas, the belly of the muscle will open up a lot easier. So we're going to start with just the origin of the big calf muscle right behind the knee where it attaches. And this is a sensitive area for a lot of people. And if you want to put even more weight on it, you take one leg off and roll. And then as you progress downward, You get to the middle part of the big gastrocnemius muscle. You roll, stretch, move. Remember, constantly moving. Then at the lower part, you get to the insertion of the calf muscles and the Achilles tendon. You get that right in there. Use your body weight. You move to the left, you move to the right. You want to put more pressure on it. You use one leg at a time. Again, you just keep moving until you feel that muscle relax, until the tension is out. After you're finished with the lower extremities, you move to the back. And I like to roll with the roller perpendicular to the body. A lot of people suggest doing it parallel to the body, but I find that's much more effective when doing it this way. Start with the lower back, keep the hips up. You roll from the lower back to the middle back, and you move this way, you move that way. Whichever way you move, it's always going to be right. And when you move up into the back region, don't be surprised that you start hearing a lot of snap, crackle, and pop. And don't think it's your bones popping. All you're doing is just moving soft tissue around. It's the sound of soft tissue moving over the bones and the air that's being released. Especially when you get up to the upper thoracics and lower cervicals, you'll really hear some snap, crackle, and pop. And you see that I'm really keeping my hips up high in order to keep the pressure on the rotator cuff, lower cervicals, and upper thoracics.